Album review. Today's album is Troy Baker, Sitting in the Fire. We're joined today by Will,
Hello.
Aidan,
Baker.
me, Denver, and Joe.
Hello. This album, a bit of a weird pick, but right off the back of Last of Us 2, I thought, you know what, fuck it, do a bit of baking. And this sure as hell was baking, but it wasn't fire. It was all right. I thought this was that a bad analogy?
Well,
That was terrible, to be honest.
You don't bake in a fire anyway.
Well,
You cook with a fire, maybe.
Realistically, I think the whole joke fell flat. We can move on.
Right. This album.
Just cut that, Denver. It's all right. Just cut it.
Just cut
Album
it.
review.
We need a hard restart, boys.
It's not going well, boys. Bring out the 9/11 jokes.
Oh,
This
no.
this album was. Right, I'm hard restarting. This album was a Troy Baker album.
This album like bread because fire and bakery.
Just like the Fire of London
You
started
know what?
in a
I can't
bakery.
go fucking.
Oh
10
my god,
seconds.
it did! Fuck! That fucking blew my mind.
Brain explode.
Holy fucking shit!
Swear I can't get 10 seconds into an album review without being roasted.
Come on, Joe.
I mean, this isn't even directly at you yet.
It
Right.
will be. Just wait.
I'll say something stupid
Just
soon,
skip
don't
to the
worry.
5-minute point
Right.
for the joke
Right.
you would hate.
This album was all right. I think he had a decent voice, but I don't think the whole album, I don't think, it felt like he was holding back. I felt like he had so much more power and so much more voice to give, but it never really happened, which was upsetting. But I did enjoy the album. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to be. I think at the start of the album, I was like, "Oh, this is actually all right. This is good." And then at the end, I was like, "It just kind of gets worse and worse and worse." I don't know, but it was never bad. It was just like I was always waiting for something more. You know, I guess that's not a bad thing, but I just felt like he could have done a lot more. I felt like all the songs, they were trying to have an energy about them, and I never could really get into that energy. I felt like it was trying to be a lot more energetic than it actually was, and I feel like he's not got a very energetic voice either.
Well, I feel like saying he could have given more. I don't think he could. I think he stayed within his constraints. So I think if he went any more, his voice would start to go off. Because I think in a few bits, he didn't sound that
go
great.
off, doesn't it?
I get that, but I think more what I'm trying to get out of that is maybe he couldn't have give more, but I felt like he pushed himself that much where it was like, I want more, you know? I want to hear more out of that. It's just not enough, you know? And bless him. Troy Baker is probably one of I was about to say one of my favorite guys in the world. I respect this dude so much. He's such a humble guy. He's so cool to listen to in interviews and stuff. He's always very passionate about everything he does, and I'd love to meet him someday. Troy Baker,
quite talented as well.
yeah, he's just an all round cool guy, and I'd love to meet him. So Troy Baker, listen to this. I want to meet you. You cool guy.
See the NEEDLEDROP review in this album.
What's that?
Didn't see number one album review guy on YouTube, NEEDLEDROP. He hasn't. I don't think he's reviewed.
Why do you keep calling him out by name? Why don't we just call him Bald Glasses?
Oh my god!
Yeah, let's just be honest.
Listen here, Bald with glasses. You're stepping on our toes.
Is this the fucking YouTube beef that we start? You know, how KSI always has that YouTube beef and it gets them loads of
I'm
attention.
still waiting for his diss track against us.
We have the album review beef and we make a diss track album against each other.
I feel like we need this beef to
And then
create
review-
the publicity.
Yeah, fuck
sure.
you, NEEDLEDROP. You've ruined my wife.
You've ruined it.
You've ruined my wife.
It was one hell of a night.
She can't walk anymore. What?
Fucking
This
NEEDLEDROP
drama
ruined her.
turned This fucking drama just got much worse. The fact that he's ruined his wife.
Now the question is, does he have a 10-inch cock or a 10-inch Glock that he shot her with? That's the question.
God!
You get it. You got it.
I think he's got both.
A Glock and a cock in each hand.
It's a Glock clock. Wait,
Kimbo Glock cock.
Glock cock.
TikTok. Block cock.
TikTok, Glock cock.
So
Cock.
Troy Baker, well pronounced guy in Last of Us and pretty much every other game on the planet. He voice acts a lot, doesn't he? He does a lot of voice acting. I think he did like an actual TV show once as well. I'm not that could be
Did
wrong.
the Joker for a bit.
Did do the
It
Joker.
wasn't quite as good as
He's done most Batman. He played Batman. I think he played Robin. I think he played Two-Face as well. He's done a lot of Batman characters.
He was Harley Quinn.
He did Star-Lord in Telltale. He's done a lot of shit.
It's a bit like the Riddler, you know. I feel like he'd do a good Riddler.
I feel like he'd do a good Riddler as well. Yeah, definitely. But music-wise, I feel like he is talented, but I just didn't quite hit the spot, you know?
I'd be interested to know how much of like the production he did, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know if he plays
definitely,
instruments or if it was literally like, I've written some songs and I know some music mates who can do the music, you know?
I know he definitely plays guitar. Don't know if he does the singing, but he definitely does guitar.
You
I've
don't know
seen
if he
him play
does.
You
guitar.
don't know if he does the singing.
Singing on his own album.
He definitely does the singing.
Is that the joke?
It was a joke, yeah.
Oh. It didn't
Just didn't
come
it?
across like you're an idiot.
The sarcasm didn't go well.
It was lost on us. It was lost on us.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is whenever I try and do like a dumb joke where I feel like, you know, oh yeah, I'm not dumb enough to do that. I feel like you guys in your head is like, actually, Joe could be dumb enough to.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you do
That's the
say
trouble.
stuff like.
So whenever I try to do a dumb joke, it never pays off because you guys think I'm being dumb.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you mean we think?
Just stop being dumb and we won't question
Just
your
get
dumbness.
smarter, Joe.
Thanks. I'll go back to school. Start again. Year
Start
one.
education. Redo education.
So yeah, my least favorite was Far Away. And the issue with this song is it just didn't have anything to it. It was very just kind of it was just
Fucking
dragged a
awful
bit.
melody.
Yeah, dragged a bit. The melody wasn't catchy. It was just very, you know, samey the whole way through. Yeah, it was shit. Like let's not sugarcoat it anymore.
Yeah,
it was a fucking
awful.
terrible
I
song.
hated it.
Oh, but what about Woman?
The woman was also bad in it.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
what about Contrast?
really
there
have
was no contrast.
Both of them sounded terrible.
They like when the woman part started, I was like, this is not adding anything to the song. It's just
No.
kind of making it the same when it was already bad.
Yeah, I've miscalculated.
Yeah, I get that impression.
What are you, a fucking robot?
Is C-3PO, real life C-3PO.
I feel like there was
okay,
an
but-
obvious worse one.
Really? Because I feel like this
really?
was...
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not have this one as my worst one.
Oh, okay, maybe it's just another me and Aidan are in
No,
sync.
yeah,
and the rest of
yeah,
everyone's fucked.
Right, okay.
There was another bad one. Was it Sad Song, maybe? Was that the other bad one?
Nah. it's
No,
not
Sad Song was all right, wasn't it? Because there was another one. I can't remember it, but it was another one. I was like, I don't.
Probably Denver's worse, to be fair.
Probably not like that. But yeah, I liked how like every song kind of mixed it up with the instruments. Like, yeah, they all kind of had like the same feel and kind of same like attitude and energy about them. But like they always mixed it up with like the instruments and like it always felt like they were trying something new.
They were the same, but they were different,
Also, did anyone else laugh when the gospel bit came up on what we lost in the fire? Because I fucking cracked up. But you know, right at the end,
I can't remember it.
right at the end, like this whole gospel opera singer thing comes in. I found it really funny. I thought it was quite cool. It sounded good, but it was just it came out of nowhere, hit me off guard, and it was like, yeah, funny.
Super funny.
Which is actually my third favorite is What We Lost in the Fire.
Oh dear.
At the start, I thought I really didn't like this song, but then I kind of just learned to appreciate the build.
Learn to
song?
appreciate the build. You could fit a better song in that build.
I assume this is your worst favorite. Your least
Worst
favourite. then, isn't it?
favourite.
This is your worst favourite.
Well, listen to the fire. Like, nothing happens for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, but then the ending is so good, and it kind of makes you appreciate it. And he's like, I feel like this is where he does really like try and shine his voice out a bit more.
But it's because he's had 3.5 minutes to warm up.
They also get drowned out by the gospel singing anyway.
Also, did
We're much better singers than he is.
did anyone like think like you couldn't hear his voice a lot in some of like the later songs, especially?
Well, that's like the production, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I'd agree with you on that.
I feel like his voice just didn't like fit like the octave or whatever he was playing, like singing it in. You just couldn't really. It didn't stand out, and like everything else was just drowning him out.
But I thought it worked better when everything.
No, I was going to say I thought that was a good thing.
Oh yeah, it's a good thing because you can't hear him sing. But...
Yeah, I was going to say it works better when his voice was masked more with other things. Either if it was his own like. Because sometimes they layered his voice, didn't they, a few times? Like that's when he sounded at his best, when he just had his voice layered many times. When it was just his solo voice, I thought.
I hear what you're saying. More Troy makes the boys broy.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I feel like this is one of those singers that like and like he can hit the notes, but I'm not sure if I like the sound of his voice. You know?
Oh, like Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
What?
I'm not like Biffy Clyro in the slightest.
Or Don Broco, but he can't hit the notes.
Fuck off.
Fuck right. And it's the drummer who does all the hard vocal bits anyway, so.
He must be fucking knackered. Jesus.
I was going to say, so Don Broco does all the easy bits?
But he's not called Don Broco.
Oh, sorry, Don Broco.
Donald Broco.
It's like when I thought...
Dominic Broco.
It's like when I thought the lead singer from Linkin Park was Linkin Park.
Mr. Lincoln.
And, what was the
Mr.
other one?
Park.
There was another one.
Literally, it was Biffy Clyro. I remember going to, do you like Biffy Clyro? And he was like, yeah, I really like him.
To be fair, I thought Biffy Clyro was a guy.
Fucking joke.
Dear God.
I used to do that all the time as a kid. Like, people used to come up to me, oh, you heard this band? And or you heard this like artist?
How
and
often did this happen when you
I'm
were
like,
a kid?
Quite a
People
lot.
wandering up to you on the street. You're like,
No, not on the street.
It's a funny
People
name,
like-
isn't it? Panic at the Disco.
Mr. at the Disco. Not a
People
big
like,
fan.
No, it's Mr. the Disco. His
Mr.
first name is
Disco.
Panic At.
And his Panic At. I was going to say
Panic At.
Panic, and his middle name's At.
Mr. Disco.
No middle name. Just Panic At.
Panic At.
Panic At. There's like people like Will, like he just said, like he came up to me like once and was like, "Oh, do you like Don Broco?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love that guy."
Fuck, I feel like I've heard this story before.
Yeah,
It's almost as if we spoke about it a minute ago.
I'm just what I'm saying
Almost
is,
like Will just pointed out the
I'm saying
joke.
it wasn't just random people on the street. It was like people like that I knew, and then
Nah,
like,
Saltfleet's full of music fans who just ask you.
anyway. You know what? Fucking moving on.
Good.
My second favorite was
Hold on.
My Religion.
Oh, I love how you just disappeared for that. So,
My favourite was,
my favourite song is.
Yeah,
So,
hold on,
guys, I'm actually a pretty big fan.
guys. My favorite song is My Religion.
My
Hang on.
second favourite song.
Bella's saying her favourite in the background, if you can hear. Come on,
Don't worry.
No.
I really thought this out.
It was all part of the joke. Although when opening the door, it scared my dog. Don't know if you heard that.
We did hear that, yeah.
We
Don't know,
did,
don't know
yeah.
if you could hear it. I couldn't hear it.
But
But I have tinnitus.
I have tinnitus as well, a little bit.
I have it more.
Tinnitus
I
isn't
have
real.
more tinnitus.
My tinnitus is louder. How loud? Recreate how loud your tinnitus is.
my ears.
God, I felt that fucking reverberate through my room. Right.
Reverberate.
Reverberate.
Sound engineer, yes.
That sounds like the name of a YouTube gaming channel.
I will fix it. Right. Second favorite was My Religion because it kind of was like, and I love how like Overture goes into this, like the first kind of like little weird song.
That's funny because I hate it.
Thanks, Will. Nice contrast there. We've got to add some interesting things.
I like it.
I
Thanks.
personally haven't picked any of my songs just to create conversation.
Yeah, I just like to get what everyone else is
such
thinking.
Yeah, I've actually not written a
thing.
list. I'm just going to put the net sum of everyone else's picks and then put them in.
I'm just going to do it in alphabetical order.
Oh shit, that's smart.
Yeah.
So your favourite song is Aberration.
I'll do from worst to best, but I'll do it as my pin number.
Oh no,
card.
Afterglow.
Afterglow.
Yeah, sorry, Afterglow.
Because the F is or P in the alphabet, you know?
That's the alphabet.
Yeah.
What
Thanks,
song?
Can you guys?
What We Lost in the Fire.
What?
Alphabetically.
Oh. Can you guys say the alphabet backwards? No, I don't want you to do it. I just want you to tell me if you can do
the
it.
alphabet backwards.
Nice.
Wow. Fucking showed
Fucking
me
dad
that,
joke
didn't it?
again.
You fucking done me there. God's sake. He finds it so funny.
Do you remember when people used to say long words and then go spell it at the end, and everyone would be like, "I do."
Basically, the joke Denver's just made.
Yeah, I know. That's what. But I remember doing it in primary school, and I used to think I was dead clever because I knew the word anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Can't
And I used
say
to-
it.
Do you
And
guys
then I
still,
used to go spell it, and they'd be like, "It." I was like, "You didn't even spell it, you autistic fuck."
do you guys like still know people that go, "Oh, what's the time?" and they go, "Oh, you best get a watch." What was the joke?
What the fuck are you on about?
Thanks,
Yeah,
Joe.
what?
Time to get a watch.
Time to get a watch. That's it. That's the joke. Do you guys
Yeah, but
know
that
people
doesn't
still-
work in this day and
Yeah,
age
you
because of
still
the
make
phone.
that.
Oh.
No,
You
unless
do
you've got
also-
an Apple Watch like
Joe, I
you.
was going to say, Joe, you do actually make that joke.
Do I?
Even better, often when people ask me, "Oh, what's the time?" I go, "No, thanks, love. I've got to go to Mackey's."
All right. I
It's time consuming.
That's an old reference.
that's an old joke. So,
An oldie but a goldie, and that's not a joke. That's what you did.
you guys know about that, don't you?
Story
Probably.
time.
Story
Okay.
time. Basically, me and Aidan and my dad went to the cinema, and on the way out, there was like two women with like a pram, and they went, "Oh, have you got the time?" And I thought they meant like, "Have you got time?" So in my head, I was thinking, right, I was either thinking these are prozzies, or they're trying to sell me something.
Right, great way to put that. Great way to put
They have a baby in a pram, and you're just like, "Hey, whore."
You know what these pozzies are like? They're desperate for money, aren't they?
Joe!
This woman has had sex. Must be a whore.
So that went through my head. So instead of being like, "Oh yeah, it's like 2:10," I went, "Oh no, sorry, love, we're off to Mackey's."
And then just carried on walking. And I was literally stood there, me and Roy were fucking gobsmacked. Just doing this. So I got on my phone and went, "Yeah, it's like 4 o'clock or whatever." But like, they just looked at him like they just shot his kid. Like Joe just like shook the baby on the floor.
I don't know how I haven't heard about this.
I don't know.
You've definitely heard about this because this followed straight on to when we were in Mackey's, right? We'd had our food, and me and Roy got up and we said, "Joe, can you put that in the bin?" Mackey's was fucking rammed. Like there was so many people in there. We were lucky to get a table. Me and Roy started walking out, and Joe picked up the tray, and he turns around, and there was a family stood there, like, "Oh, we get to sit down." And Joe proceeds to put the tray down back on the table and walk out.
Looking them dead in the eye as I did it.
Like, he was like, "You're not sitting here."
It's just Joe got so
God,
scared
Joe.
by their presence, he just drops everything he has and walks out.
Just to say, she happened like 20 minutes from each other. Like, he'd already hit his quota of retardedness in like an hour.
You are just the worst human.
I just love how these two people say, "Oh, have you got the time?" Joe's like, "No."
Yeah, thanks, love, after Mackey.
They're just super confused. And Joe's thinking, "What a whore."
I'm thinking, fucking dirty bitches.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, stop.
Oh my god. Oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, once I get anxiety filled, because once I realised what I did wrong, I was obviously very upset, which led to the Mackey's thing, because I was questioning everything that I was doing. Anyway, moving
Yeah,
on.
but it's only like the other day when the estate agent rung me I was outside this house, and he goes, "Do you know the address?" And I'm like, I knew where it was, but I didn't know the address on paper. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know. In my head, I'm thinking the estate agent doesn't know where it is, and he's asking me. But he wasn't. He was asking me if I knew where it is to get there.
You're just like, yeah, of course I do, dumbass. Hurry up.
I very nearly said to him, "Why do you not know where it is?"
He's only showing you around the places. It's not like he needs to know or anything, right?
I was just confused. I went, I'm outside. And then luckily he came to the front door then.
Man, you should have said no thanks, love, off to Mackie's. I think that would have been better.
It's like when in Rome. Just sorry,
When in
love, off to
Rome.
Mackie's.
That's going to be my instant reaction to anyone saying hello. After Maccies, even when Roy says
Is the beach open today, young man? Sorry, love, off to Mackie's.
It's an instant scapegoat to any situation.
No, maybe you should say that at work, Joe. Like, let's buy this phone and go, nah, sorry, love, I'm off to Mackie's.
But then I don't. I just stay stood where I am.
Going to Mackie's? I don't understand.
And then just ignore their presence. Just don't even look at them. And then another customer walks in behind them and you start talking to them.
And I pull a Mackie's out from the drawer behind me.
Wait, you had a Mackie's the whole time? This
Maybe.
changes the story.
Right. Moving on.
Have you even said your third favourite yet?
I've said my third.
You said he's
I'm
second.
I'm on my second. I've said my second, but I've not explained why I liked it yet.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. What's your
Fair
first?
enough. My first is Aberration.
Oh, Aberration.
Because I felt like it was just the best, like, well-structured, just had the best hook. You know, his vocals sounded the best in it. Was there a trumpet solo at the end, or am I
There was a
thinking of
trumpet
different song?
throughout it.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, but it had like a solo at the end.
Yeah, it's like a cool little brass, like fucking.
It had an
Was it a
encore.
trumpet?
Yeah, it was just like, it had just the funkiest fucking, go!
It's like thinking,
good.
I know this song is
Good
so
shit.
good, I'm putting an encore within the song.
I listen to it, I go to Mackie's.
And ignoring all those whores.
Any woman outside the back.
Just like some woman walking in the street. Joe rolls down the window. Not tonight, love.
It's just a random ass woman. I know you're gagging for it.
Pulls over, asks the lady for direction. She starts saying, "It's like, sorry, love, off the Maccies." So, if you turn left and down the road, turn right. Sorry, love, off to Maccies now.
I just
Can't speak to anyone these days.
Any woman Joe sees, he just thinks it's like some fucking prostitute.
A woman in the street equals guaranteed prostitute.
It's like what Southerners think that every Northerner is like a taxi driver if you give them enough money. Any woman is a prostitute if you say so.
Oh my god.
That hurt. That hurt so much. We really need to get on with this review. Fuck me.
Jesus Christ.
It's been half an hour. We haven't. Joe's not even done.
Poor Troy Baker's listening to this, waiting for the album review.
It's like, what do these guys think? We're just talking about progress.
You're not actually supposed to say it like that, you know?
He's talking prozzies.
I was saying prozzies. It's so politically incorrect.
What do
I
you
don't
call
know
them?
the right way
Women
to
of
say
the
Sex
night.
workers.
I suppose they are, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is probably. I might be wrong. I don't know the best way to say it.
It's a really upper class way of
You
saying it, though,
shouldn't
isn't
say
it?
whores. I know that.
Dirty whore.
Mackie's fucking whore.
We'll give us a Big Mac, then we'll
Right,
treat
so
you like-
Apparition.
Version was funky. It was good. I pretty much said everything I wanted to say about it. My Religion had a cool bass line
Yeah.
at the start, and that's really
Are
it.
you
It was all-
eating?
I'm eating bagel.
Brilliant.
Professional.
Um,
Well, it's all right. It's the end of his review anyway.
yeah, it's the end. Summary. It was all right. I don't know if to call it a bang av. I don't think it's really a bang av. It was all right.
Cool.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
It's okay.
I thought this album was overall pretty good. I think it had a few standout songs, but then the bad songs weren't bad. They were just kind of all right. I felt like he was just worse at Coldplay. I feel like Chris.
I totally agree with you.
I feel like he just tries to. It's like someone trying. He's like he could be a Coldplay cover singer, like a tribute band.
What the fuck are you saying?
Like, he sounds just like Chris Martin, like a worse Chris Martin.
I can get that. I can kind of see that.
And I thought that the first time listening to it, I was like, it just sounds like Chris Martin could do a better version of all these songs.
We are literally on the same wavelength. Like, what the fuck?
So it just sounded, but it was all right. There was only like one song that I literally hated to listen to. The rest of them were either like just solid that it doesn't latch out to me as I'm sticking that on my playlist or whatever. But there was just a couple of solid songs and then some really good ones. The album definitely starts stronger than it finishes, because when we first started listening to this, I was like, holy shit, this is actually pretty good. But then it kind of just dwindles slowly through the album.
I agree with that.
The song lengths are all over the place, though. Like, he's definitely not kept to like the classic sort of 3-4 minutes rule, because you got songs that are 6 minutes and then a song that's a minute and a half. Yes, that was an intro thing. I did kind of like that. It had one of those albums to listen to in order, for sure, because it had a couple of songs that kind of bled into each other nicely. And it definitely had the intro song and an outro song. And when I was like reading into it, Troy Baker prefers like the older ways of listening to music. So he definitely structured it deliberately to be listened in order, not just hit random. Yeah, worst song. Window to the Abbey, because it's just instrumental. It's long and it's boring.
Wow.
Really? Hold on.
I'd argue it's one of the best on the album.
I was going to say it's pretty good.
It's all right.
He just doesn't sing on it, so.
Wow.
So I don't have anything unless it's like a funky beat. Instrumentals are just pretty boring to me, unless the sound, unless it's got some unique sound, and it didn't really sound very unique. And I didn't have any singing on it, so I didn't like it.
I thought it was really good, like the delay on the guitars and everything. It was like really atmospheric, and I thought it was
all right.
Okay, thanks, Will.
Third favourite was Far Away.
Really?
Apart from it had a really creepy sound at the start. But other than that, I thought the two singers worked well together. I thought it had quite a big feel to it. The only thing is, it has a weird noise that goes on throughout it, like almost like a squash toy or something that goes on, which almost put me off it. But it stood out as a bit of a different one. And Woman.
Can you try and make the noise?
I can't actually remember the noise. I just put, what is that noise in my notes? And without listening to it again. Also, actually, going back onto worst, yeah, what we lost in the fight almost was the worst, but the last minute saved it. Minute and a half saved it. It was good for the last minute and a half. Yes. So then, yeah, Far Away, third favourite. Second favourite, Holy Eyes. Or Halo Eyes, sorry. Because I just love the trumpet sound right off from the beginning. I think his voice, even though it's only a minute and a half, his voice sounds great throughout it. Because the imperfections I guess in his voice are masked by the trumpet and all the instruments, that it sounds really good as a collective. And then it works well as it like feeds nicely into my favourite, Apparition.
Nice.
Which has a big feel. I feel like it had by far the most effort was put into that song with just all the instruments, all the production. It sounds, it's the only song that I think actually was catchy on the album. It was really funky, and they knew it was the best song because they put an encore within the song. Like the song finishes and then it comes back for more, and you're like, oh, it's good.
30 seconds.
Round two.
Comes back for like 30 seconds, doesn't it?
Look, all right, Joe. Not everyone's
what,
on call
sorry?
for as big as the
Don't
full
matter.
song.
Just
Did you say
saying
it
that.
cuts out for 30 seconds? Or...
No, it doesn't matter. Just carry on.
Anyway, it's great. It's actually like a really good song, I thought. And yeah, I thought overall pretty good, but would have been better if sung by Chris Martin.
Nice.
This kind of explains a lot, the fact that you think it sounds like Chris Martin, based on my review. I fucking hate Coldplay.
You don't hate Coldplay.
I like their three famous, like some of their famous, like the up top.
You love Clock.
Genuinely dislike
And Yellow.
some of Mallory Knox did it.
Also, he has a song called Afterglow, which I thought was a cover of Coldplay's Everglow, but
Afterglow is a song by not a data room, but All Time Low.
Nice. There was a song in there that it reminded. I can't remember what song it was, but it reminded me of like a piano. It was like a classical song. Like
That narrows it down.
like the Bumblebee.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What? The Bumblebee thing. I know what you mean.
I think it might have actually been out Afterglow. I don't know. Just ignore me. Just carry on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
Is it me? It's you. Cool. Because I think this album can be easily defined as an overwhelming lack of the bangers.
Agreed.
Like, there isn't really anything inherently wrong with his music. Like, he's good and he's got a good voice and stuff. But when you come for the baker and he's all out of bread, you get a bit sad, you know?
I like that. That was good.
Thanks,
That
man.
was really good.
But I'd written that down as well. So, like, it was already a planned joke before you made your shit one at the beginning.
So you kind of heard my shit one at the beginning and you were like, fucking hell.
Some of us actually finish all our notes before we start album review.
Oh, fucking hell.
You called out for it again.
Oh,
It'll never get forgotten, Joe. I'm sorry.
it was a purpose thing.
All the songs are kind of unique, and they all have a relatively good composition and surprisingly good studio quality. Didn't expect it to have good production value, but I thought it kind of did, actually. Or, like, a lot better than I thought it was going to be, considering he doesn't really have, like, a status as being a singer or a musical person.
Mm. He does on Instagram. He like sings on Instagram all the time.
Oh, that's great.
He even does like stuff in Joel's voice, like he'll sing in Joel's.
If I ever were to lose
Do you prefer him singing as Joel?
Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a million times.
Yeah.
Because even though he's worse as Joel, like, there's more feeling behind it.
I would agree.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
also-
what's actually trying to say.
So all his songs sort of follow this weird, unusual structure. And I don't know if anyone else found this, but the vast majority of choruses or end choruses ended with him in the background holding a long ooh note. And
Yeah.
it happened in like a lot of songs, like too many for it to not catch my attention.
Holly
I
was
like,
actually, me and Holly were in the car, and she was actually just fucking taking the piss out of that, just holding that note constantly. She was like, "That's all he fucking does. He just goes back to that same note every fucking time." And
yeah,
every
he literally does.
I don't
Like-
recognise this.
Sorry, it's musical knowledge. Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
that's okay then.
The worst song. No one else said it, but I thought Afterglow was the worst song because it's super long, super boring, and super man.
Alright, see, I didn't put that as my least favourite because I quite like the piano sound.
Whereas I like the instrumental that you picked as your worst.
Yeah, so kind of same reasoning though.
Realistically, we should kiss.
I hope so.
Third favorite, Far Away. That's right, because the lady singer isn't actually that good, but it's the fact that it's the only real contrast in any of the songs, which means that it sticks out.
Yeah,
Not necessarily saying it sticks out for the better, but it sticks out.
yeah, I would definitely say that. On their own, they don't sound that great in that song, but when they both sing combined, it masks both their imperfections and I thought made quite a nice sound.
Whoa,
Wait, what was your least favorite?
Afterglow.
Afterglow. Sorry, I missed that. God fucking damn it! What? Fuck.
Afterglow was super long as well, wasn't it?
It was long.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. Super long. Why don't you guys listen to my review?
I was
Come
listening.
on. I'm supposed to be the interesting.
I'm just not over the fact that you fucking put Far Away in your top.
But you wouldn't have heard that if you'd listened to my worst part.
I was just waiting for it. You know?
Just going to say, though, unless you put... unless you say What We Lost in the Fire was your third favourite, theoretically, consensus is that Far Away is the second best song.
Yeah.
The third best song.
Not in any sense.
Well, no, because if one of us has put it in our least favourite, surely that counts as that.
No, Joe. As
Definitely.
host of album review, my choice takes precedent.
I disagree. Greatly disagree.
Are you done?
You're done.
Yeah.
Second favourite, My Religion. Arguably has probably one of the best hooks, and it's surprisingly different to the other songs on the album. It had a real curveball of a feel to it that I quite liked. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's My Religion.
I kind of struggled, like, all the notes I've got down have already been said, so I'm just trying to skim over them, and really, I'm not actually saying anything in these. It kind of sucks.
But when you kind of just agree with everyone, it's kind of difficult.
Yeah. And I am, they call me the agreeer.
The sheep.
That's what they know me as, the agreeer.
Aidan the Agreeer. If you want someone to back up your points, get Aidan the Agreeer. He
It does
agrees.
cost to get me to argue for you, though. Like, Will, maybe you should invest in my services.
I think I'm going to have to, because I can't ever argue in
I'll
my
pull
own
you-
corner.
Pull your point across.
No.
Don't worry, I'll do the research for you. You just have to stand there and look handsome.
Thank you.
I wonder if I can get someone on Fiverr to do my album review.
That'd be quite funny, actually. Should we do that?
No, because you might get someone like Joe for £100 who
Oh, go on.
says that Paramore's a 2.
I wanted something way more savage.
You
No,
say
sorry.
Paramore's a poo?
A 2. He gave Paramore
Oh,
a 2.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
remember that.
I don't want a reviewer who gives Paramore a 2.
Speaking of number one, Aberration.
Aberration.
Nice.
That's right. I'm a sucker for the old brass, and little baby Troy throwing in some at the end made the whole song for me. I was like, damn, I like that. Give it to me. Put it in my mouth.
Gobble it up.
Right.
So
Over.
that's
No,
all.
don't. No. Shut up. Shut up. Overall, I didn't expect much, and I didn't receive much. But that's enough about my love life, because the album I also didn't expect from, and sadly, it provided on the promise of just being kind of meh. Sorry, Joe. Now you can interrupt.
It's okay, don't worry. I don't know what I was going to say.
No, I'm sure it was really funny.
No,
What?
no,
Come again?
no.
Will?
I resented listening to this album so much. And to
You
be honest,
resent
I absolutely fucking hated it. I couldn't
What?
stand
I
it.
can't understand how you can hate that.
I didn't like his voice at all.
Yeah,
it was
because
like
he sounds like Chris Martin.
well, but he doesn't sound. I don't think he sounds like him.
I
But
think
the
you're
fact you said he
subconscious.
sounds like Coldplay. I fucking really don't like Coldplay except for like 3 or 4 of their
Exactly.
songs. So-
Makes sense, doesn't it?
but he sounds like someone's dad has tried to make an album. Like someone's really uncool dad. Like it's just terrible. I don't think his singing is nice in the slightest. I don't like his voice. I generally think he sings better as Joel, and Joel is like obviously quite shit. But there's actually like more. The fact he's actually trying, I just found the whole album really cringy.
I think it's
I-
because you're because you know he's not a singer.
I
No,
don't.
because I genuinely like the guy. I really wanted to like the album. I think he's a super talented voice actor, and I just like genuine, just a nice person. But I couldn't stand it at all. I would never listen to this in any scenario outside of album review.
Wrong.
I just thought it was so cringe. Like I hated it.
I love
That'd
this.
be-
This is the same guy that just rated KSI a 7.
Yeah, so
that.
take everything he says
Yeah.
with a pinch of salt.
Just remember that. Like,
Most of this album sounds almost exactly the same, except for
Exactly
the one
like
that
KSI's
was supposed to have contrast in it, but it didn't because it was still shit. Like Far Away is by far the worst song. It's
I mean,
awful. The melody.
contrast is still contrast, bro.
Like the melody is horrific. It's like you're in a fucking horror movie. I don't know how you've even put that in your top 3. And that Liz Williams is probably an alright singer, but in this song, like, just doesn't go at all. I didn't like it in the slightest. I think, like, Sitting in the Fire, the fucking album needs to go on fire. It's just fucking horrific.
I think this is the first time Will's been like this.
So bad.
Yeah,
I genuinely resented it.
You know what?
I feel like if I told my dad to go make an album, he would go and make this, and it literally sounds like a karaoke album. It's horrific. The production's terrible as well. Half the time he's drowned out by the fucking instruments. And to be honest, when it is drowned out, it's actually better because you don't hear him singing as much. And like he never really tests his voice, and when he does, in like the slightest bit, he can't hit the notes. Like,
why do you think he doesn't test it then?
Like, oh yeah, that's why I don't test it, because he can't fucking do it. But that's just I don't know. I thought it was shit. I couldn't enjoy it at all. The only time I probably listen to it is if one of you fucking put it on. There's like one bearable song on the entire album, and then instrumentals are just. I quite like the instrumentals, but so the worst for me was Far Away. It's just by far the fucking worst. I hate it so much. I skip it every time. But it did stand out. What?
You skipped it every time. How do you know what it sounds like?
I was in like after the third listen, obviously, and I should keep trying to listen to it to try and like help it grow on me. But in fact, it just got worse.
So, Aidan, how many times did you listen to that particular song? Do you?
Well, me listening to Far Away. Will, how many times did you listen to it?
He's did the minimum 3.
I listened to it 4, and suddenly it really clicked.
Exactly, that's what it is, Will. You didn't listen to it 4 times, and it clicks on the 4th listen.
I listened to it 6 times.
Oh, changing the story now. How many times did you listen to it, Aidan? Was it 7? 7 times is the required amount to get to. Like,
I never changed the story. I said I listened to it like the 3 times all the way through, and then when it got to that, I just had to skip that song because I hated it that much. I just thought it was horrific. Even like I don't like the melody, especially, is probably the worst part in the entire song, and then he just sings over it really deep, and it just doesn't go at all.
Well, you've got a real hate boner for Far Away.
I think it's the classic Will Davey hates women thing.
I don't. It's when
you know what? I remember that being a thing in album review as well.
Yeah, it was brought up, but that's not the case in the slightest.
Don't know.
The one thing I thought it was going to be good is like my third favorite was Overture. I don't know how you say it. How would you say it? It's because I felt like it had so much promise, and like I really liked like the riff in the background. I thought it sounded ace. But I was like, this album could actually be quite nice. And then it goes into My Religion, and it's just like really deep, horrible. It doesn't go at all. Like it does not go with that first song.
I think it does, and I think you could quite happily put Over Torture, get rid of it, and just add it onto the intro of My Religion.
I would completely agree, and I think it's the same with Halo Eyes and Apparition, because when I listened to it, quite often, I was like, oh, I really like this song, and then I have a look at it, and the song titles changed, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
Oh, fucking no. Overture just like has this really sick ending, like a really awesome riff, and all of a sudden it just goes to My Religion. It's like it doesn't link up at all. It just goes like really deep. It's like weird.
I thought after the whole 4 songs, I thought this was going to be a really cool album where every song fits into the next one.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
I never thought that at all. I don't know.
To me,
that's such a hatred towards this album.
You say from Overture to My Religion it completely changed, but you could argue the same with like What We Lost in the Fire. For 3.5 minutes is completely different to the last minute and a half.
Yeah.
And yet that is one song. So I feel like Overture and My Religion could have easily been one song. It would have worked.
I don't know. I didn't really like What We Lost in the Fire. I didn't really like anything except for probably one song. Actually, saying that. So yeah, Overture was my third. Because it was just like a nice, promising start. But then after that, I didn't really get anywhere. But second favourite was Window to the Abbey. It's just a really nice instrumental, really ambient. It's just really nice the whole way through. Not ruined by just. it sounds really harsh, but I just don't like his voice, and that for me was like just a nice break from shit singing. But number one is Aberration. It is by far probably the best. Even though I still don't really like it, but I do like the
You don't even like Aberration?
Not really, no.
Why
I just don't like his
say
voice.
Apparition?
Keep saying Aberration. It's Aberration.
Apparition.
Joe keeps saying it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely. It actually sounds like a proper song. Whereas I think the others are all just like karaoke. This is probably the one that doesn't sound so, and it's probably got the best production, got the most about it, and like you say, like a nice encore at the end because it's by far the best one. It's quite funky, but it definitely stands out as being the best for me, which means like all of us have picked it as our favourite, haven't we?
It's the first time we've all picked it as a favourite since we did Julia Michaels.
Yeah. I just found the entire album really cringe. Didn't like it at all. And while I appreciate the guy a lot, and he was part of the best game of all time, and just one of the best voice actors ever, I just didn't like this at all, to be honest. Maybe if it was like just an acoustic album, because I just don't think it worked with anything he'd done like this.
But I feel like if it was an acoustic, that would show the weaknesses in his voice tenfold. I thought all the best songs were the ones that masked it with other things. Like, literally my picks were all the ones where, like, So Far Away, it was like masked with another vocalist. Then Halo Eyes is just like crazy trumpet greatness. And then Aberration is just like all instruments thrown in to make this funky tune. So I would argue that if he had made an acoustic album, it would all be horrible.
Yeah, fair is all right. Yeah, you got a point. I guess his voice would just be. Right. Yeah, his voice probably would just. But then my argument was more the fact that, like, because I actually quite like, but that might be to do with the game, is like when he's singing as Joel. But that's probably just because it is Joel. Like, it's Joel. There's a lot like emotional things. So maybe you're right. Yeah, it would just probably bring out his normal voice, and I wouldn't like it at all. So, yeah, I'm sorry to be so negative about it, but it's just generally, I just didn't want to ever listen to it.
I think you
did.
Windows.
It never grew on me.
I think you picked Windows to Abbey as your second.
Because
you're a big
of
fan of Abbey.
I am a big fan of Abbey, but
Right.
it's not the reason. I think if anyone had played it now, then they're not a true last.
So what is fair game? Is it like a month later? Fair game, boys.
To be fair, what was it with Marvel? It was like 2 weeks, wasn't it? Marvel.
Yeah.
When the Endgame came out, it's like the spoilers were now in the trailer after 2 weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my overall opinion. Just didn't really enjoy it.
I'm sad that you didn't enjoy it, Will. I am.
I enjoyed it, Joe.
Me too, because I really wanted to enjoy it.
I think
to it at all.
I think I have this overwhelming bad sense of picking bad albums, though, that people don't enjoy. At least one.
You've picked a few that are really good, like
Like
Issues
Headspace.
out of the 100 that we've done,
you did.
You.
Who's the? Oh God, I can't remember. The one that's a bit like Don Broco, but not Don Broco. Lower Than Atlantis.
Lower Than Atlantis.
I love them. They're great.
We say
Mayday Parade I picked, and that's joint first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be joint first.
I don't think it should be joint first, but
I think it should be first.
It's not even their best album, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so.
it's my favourite album.
I like how we always refer to Issues Headspace as if it was like this amazing album, but we all rated it shit at the time.
It was early days. I think it would have got much better.
If we were to rate every album on like a god tier scale, like
that would be the maximum.
I feel like
Just
that album
meme.
like perfectly sums up album review.
It really does. Bit of a meme. Joe's shit metal pick.
Who knew that his first metal pick was going to be his best metal pick?
Who knew?
Was it my highest rated metal pick?
No, I think you do actually have higher.
Yeah.
But the one day that you pick another metal album that's better than that, just imagine the scenes. Just imagine.
There's no way it's not going to happen. Because the Issues guy was actually a really good singer.
Yeah, he is.
So, fuck.
Most singers are in metal bands. It's just
you're just wrong.
that you don't like.
Incorrect.
Sorry there, you violated the law.
A lot of metal bands singers sound great because of the fact that there's
The
It's
contrast to the bad.
the big contrast, yeah. So it brings out their voice a lot. But there is, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good singers in metal bands. Ratings?
Ratings 5.5.
6.
4.
2.
Ouch. Bad album.
17.5.
Not a very good album, apparently. I thought it was alright.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I
didn't care for it.
The 4 and the 2 just.
I preferred
Oof.
more songs on this than that stood out to me than Rex Orange County's album. So.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I would agree with that.
Not in any sense.
Because like Rex Orange County's previous album only had like one standout song, whereas like I was pretty happy with about 4 of the songs on.
But I kind of preferred like just the general like actual ambience of their music.
Yeah, that's fair.
Would you listen to this album outside of this?
I think
Genuinely?
Not
think
probably
I-
again, no.
I probably listened to it as much as I listened to the KSI album.
I think I'd listen to Aberration, but that's about it.
I could probably, to be fair, I could probably play songs 1 to 5, and then after that, none of them are as good.
Everyone peaks at some point. I think I peaked when I was about 3 and I bit my tongue.
Next album.
Okay, boys. So I'm going to put forward a theme, right?
Oh.
We haven't had a theme pick since Julia. We haven't had a theme pick since Julia Michaels. All right, it's all coming back today.
Obviously, you all have to agree to it, but it's going to be one we've done before, and just that we pick albums that or artists that nobody knows. Because I just think we need a bit of a mix-up, you know, load of artists that we haven't heard of before. So, is everyone down with that?
Yeah.
Sick. So I don't know how to actually
I've heard
say
of
their
them.
name.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Well, very good, very good, very good, very nice. I'm gonna go with Kaleo,
Who?
A/B, or Kaleo. I don't know how you say that. It's Kaleo.
Kaleo.
Kalo.
Joe just went on holiday for a second there.
Yeah, Joe's got to other side of his bedroom.
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't realise my mic was that sensitive.
It's okay. Yeah, Kaleo.
Is it a man screaming?
Huh?
Is the picture of him a man screaming?
No, that's singles. It's the hands on the white.
I can't find it.
AB.
KB at the end.
A-B.
A/B.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, it looks a bit like Brendan Urie.
Oh, I
Wait.
get the impression that the name of the first song is how the album's going to be.
I can't.
Not good. I'm no good.
I can only find.
And then I'm like, well, way down we go.
I can only find a
Can you
playlist.
get no broken
called
bones?
KBOAB.
Shit, you don't get broken bones by throwing stones at glass houses.
And none of you have heard of this band, right?
Wait, no, I can't find it.
Fuck's sake,
What
Joe.
the fuck
We'll
are you
find
on
it
about?
later. It does exist.
KBOAB with the hands is a fucking playlist, not an artist.
Right, Joe, just fucking hold your horses a minute, right?
Yeah.
Literally on it.
Let me fucking do this.
I can literally
Yeah.
see it.
And you
You
click,
can share it with Joe.
Yeah.
and you click on the artist, and it is the guy screaming.
Yeah, it
Joe-
is the guy screaming, but the album art is not.
Oh, I'm with you now. Well, it was like, no, it's the guy with the hands. And I was like, no, it's the guy screaming.
Yeah, the white background.
Yeah, with the hands.
Yeah, but Joe
Yeah.
was talking about the like cover art on the page, not the album art. So when you
Yeah.
said no, it's got hands, he was like, "Oh, it's not this guy."
Oh, I thought. Sorry. Yeah, I'm with you.
No, I was on Will's side there. I didn't understand what. Joe
I
was
understood
fucking-
what Joe meant.
I don't speak retard.
I've been taking lessons.
He's fluent.
That's fluid.
It's good.
Also, side note on the who's did the right pick, just on listens in the last album, excluding the instrumentals and the intros, Window to the Abbey had the fewest listens.
Hey, look at that.
So
But it is
theoretically, the
The
worst
Will
song.
Davey, different is better.
Yeah, but genuinely, people don't listen to instrumentals as much, do they?
Yeah, because
That
the
doesn't
shit.
mean it's the worst. No, they're not shit. It's actual music.
Right,
rather than-
unless you're bringing the
Shit.
sax out, don't do an instrumental.
Denver, you're so wrong. If you appreciate music, then you've got to appreciate sometimes just the instrumentals. You like DJ stuff, and half of that is literally just
No, I like
instrumental.
DJ stuff that has vocals, that has vocal hooks. I don't like pure DJ beats.
He
Okay.
doesn't ever waver from his opinion, will Davey?
That ever
Did you
not
know that?
swayed. Apart from all the times. Well, maybe I'll agree with you in about 20 album picks.
No way, it's the guy that sings that song.
Joe
Sorry.
knows it. We can't pick it.
I do know one song.
What song's that?
Way Down We Go.
Well, the most popular one.
Way
Right.
down we go. Oh, oh.
Right. Can we just fucking go this out?
I know one song. I don't think that counts as.
We'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Joe, any closing thoughts?
I went, oh no, sorry, love, we're off to Maccies.